Live from the 540 ESPN studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, this is the Pro Wrestling Report with David Hero, Frank Cosentino, Linda Kay, and your host, Damian Nelson.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report here on 540 ESPN. ESPNMilwaukee.com is where we are streaming. Special Wednesday night show, Wednesday, August 3, 2011. We are live. Damian Nelson here along with the Cos, Linda Kay, and David Hero. Hello. And you know what? With it being Wednesday, we've got two huge things going on in this program tonight. Firstly, coming up at the bottom of the hour, our guest will be Shane Helms. Joins us here again on the program. Tillman, do we have enough time in the dump zone just in case Mr. Helms has a similar interview to his last appearance on this program? So we are ready for that. And it is also, last week it was 80s night here in the Pro Wrestling Report as far as the fans picking the themes.
Oh, we're doing
tonight,
themes again tonight?
Absolutely. Themes about themes, on themes, for themes, with a theme. And tonight's theme is Tag Team Wrestling. Yeah.
Do you like tag team wrestling there, Damian Nelson?
I chose this theme. Pretty popular from what I see on Facebook.
Yes, tag teams are the themes tonight. Whoop, there it is.
I can only wait to see what tag teams our general public decides to pick for us tonight.
Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report. We are interactive, and we let you choose the musical direction of the show each and every week. And tonight, it's all about tag teams. So Linda's getting that list off our Facebook page. How many friend requests do you get during a live broadcast of the listening public out there, Linda?
Our show's page?
No, you, Linda Kay.
I gotta look. I'm tuned in to our show.
Ah, she's dialed in.
I keep in on just on the PWR show. But I can get an answer to you next week.
Tremendous. Well, coming up tonight, in addition to Shane Helms, we've got some trivia with the Cos.
Absolutely.
Fan of the Week, Vintage Video. Got a challenge for all you YouTubers out there. We're going to be going in the phone zone, a full 30 minutes of the phone zone tonight, and our tweet of the week. And you can join the conversation. We're going to enter the phone zone at 11 o'clock tonight. So at the top of the next hour, 11 o'clock Central. The number, 414-276-ESPN, 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776. So wait a little while before you give us a call. We'll be going to your calls right after we talk to Shane Helms. But before we do all that, I want to talk a little bit about WWE Raw from this past Monday night. And I think the takeaway from Raw this past Monday night was the match made for SummerSlam between John Cena and CM Punk to make two champions into one WWE champion. And within that, we had the interaction between Triple H and CM Punk, which was must-see television. What were your thoughts on that very, very open conversation between those two stars? We'll start with you, Kaz.
I thought it was a little long. It was good, but it was a little long. And you're trying to figure out, okay, is Triple H liking this? Is he trying to play along with Punk? Is Punk saying things again that are going to get everybody riled up? And it just went a little bit too long for me to get the point over that they needed to get over. It was a good 20 minutes, if not longer.
It's what the fans want to see. They want to see Punk. They want to hear him talk. They want to hear all the, hot stuff he's going to talk about.
To me, it went long. It was good, but it long.
David Hero, your thoughts?
Well, it's Triple H.
Well,
think about it. I mean, here they are. They got this guy, CM Punk, white hot right now. Everybody loves him. Everybody wants to see him. They're chanting his name. They're buying his T-shirts. So what do? They bring out Triple H.
Yep.
The guy that's going to try to dissect him. That's going to try to bury him, try to make him look foolish. And these two guys are going to go back and forth and back for a little while. And, it'll be interesting to see if Triple H lets the young guy get over on him or not.
You're convinced he won't. You've been riding this wave ever since Triple H was announced as the COO of WWE, that he wants the thunder. He wants the popularity for himself.
Well, he may not want the popularity, but he just might want to say, hey, I'm still the top dog. I'm still the guy that cuts the promo. I'm the funny ha-ha guy. I'm the sarcastic guy.
Have a lot of people forgotten what he said before WrestleMania? Remember?
No, I forgot.
I'm the only guy who can give you a challenge in that locker room. He said that to The Undertaker. Basically
He is the
elevating
locker room
himself
now.
higher than any other talent in WWE at the time. And that comment was relative to his match with The Undertaker, but I think he said a lot more in that I'm surprised hasn't been referenced by a lot of people since he has returned.
And let's face it, when it does come down to a match between CM Punk and Triple H,
Do you think they're going to have a match?
if you look at it physically, it should be
It's a mismatch.
absolutely. I mean, Triple H is a completely grown man.
And Punk
I'm not
is
saying
skinny,
Punk
fat.
is a kid. No. I'm just saying that physically it's like night and day.
Ebony and Ivory.
One thing
that was Miz and R-Truth.
I still don't understand that correlation.
You'll get it later.
The one thing that Triple H talked a lot about is good for business. He said that, 3-4 times?
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, it is extremely good for business. You take what's hot and you ride as long as possible. But that's where, if they want to go where Triple H eventually wins over, then you better wait a while, because you want to have people still tuning in and buying T-shirts and everything, because Punk is hot. So it's got to be careful if that's his vision. Eventually I'll take this over. You better wait a while, because Punk's got everything right.
And within that conversation those two had, Punk gave his reasoning for re-signing with WWE. Did it make sense, what he said, which was basically sort of peeling back the layers of what he said in that original promo about not wanting to be a company man, not wanting to be a contracted employee of WWE, but he signed the deal because he said he still had to be the voice of the voiceless, if you will. But did he effectively do that? Did he effectively explain why he didn't do what he said he was going to do before the Money in the Bank pay-per-view?
I think he did, and I think there's more that'll be coming out in the next few weeks or maybe a few months, depending on how long they want to ride the story and how Triple H gets involved or doesn't get involved. After SummerSlam, I think this should continue to at least the next pay-per-view, because if Cena would win here...
Well, Cena's not going to beat CM Punk right now. There's no reason for it.
The only thing I can see, which I'm dreading already, is the DQ.
Or maybe it's a no decision. Both guys don't win, which sets up a rematch in September. What is September's pay-per-view?
September's pay-per-view is Night of Champions, followed by Hell in a Cell, then followed by Bragging Rights. Yeah, 2 in October, 3rd and 23rd, I believe.
Really?
Usually falls that way.
That's pretty silly.
Because if it would go to Night of
It's
Champions...
$150 on pay-per-views.
It goes to Night of Champions, they could potentially have 3 matches there. Or it would have been the one prior to this one, and then that.
Which then, Punk would then beat Cena, who would then be in a better spot, who would be a stronger champion, to then wrestle Triple H.
Think Triple H will be back in the ring that soon, though?
Absolutely. Triple H, listen, I think Hunter Hearst Helmsley is a fantastic talent. He can talk, he can work, he tells a story, he's a ring general, ring leader. Everything, he does it all, okay? But every time there's been someone that's been hot, who's always been the guy that's defeated him? Triple H. Took care of, let's see, Eugene when Eugene was over huge.
Yeah.
Randy Orton. Chris Benoit. He took out DX by himself. He beat up Kane by himself. The only guy he hasn't gotten over on has been, what do you call it? Undertaker. That's been it.
But is it good for business?
Well, who do you think means more for business, CM Punk or Triple H?
Eventually you got to build these stars.
I agree, but right now, when you put a guy in the marquee, Triple H or CM Punk, who's going to sell more tickets?
Right now, it's CM Punk.
You think so?
At this very moment, it is.
That's an interesting question
That's
and
a
an
great
interesting
question.
debate. And maybe we want to hear what people have to say on Twitter, Linda, about that question. Who on the marquee puts eyes on the screen and tails in the seats?
Well, hold on. But at the same time, we're asking the wrong group of wrestling fans.
Because they love CM Punk.
Because the
And hate Triple H.
IWC loves CM Punk.
I think, Frank, your point is valid. Currently, CM Punk is a hot commodity. David Hero, no matter what, Triple H is a hot commodity and
Absolutely.
a recognizable face, more so to other fans than those that are watching right now thus I think making Triple H the more marquee name star.
Let's ask Shane Helms. I got a lot of questions for Sugar Shane Helms. Absolutely.
Is 3 Count the tag team? Can we use that?
Sure. No one
submitted that on Facebook.
You know what? That dance routine of 3 Count and Tank Abbott was on the Best of WCW Nitro DVD.
Interesting note about Night of Champions. If you've seen the poster, at least the preliminary version coming out from WWE, Randy Orton featured on that poster, holding up not the World Heavyweight Championship, but the logo Night of Champions, which is a championship belt. And the tagline WWE using this year is, "It's a night you will never forget." Sunday, September 18th. There could be big plans for Night of
I've heard
Champions.
that before.
This is the... You didn't deliver?
Well, no. Night you'll never forget. Tomorrow night. Did you forget, Damien?
I didn't forget that we have to take a timeout. When we come back, it's our first tag team theme of the night. This here is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Follow us on Twitter for breaking news, live wrestling chat, and pure hilarity. Head over to twitter.com/PWR Show and be part of the conversation.
Everybody start gasping. I'm ready for lights, camera, action. Go! You already know what it is. It's your boy, right?
540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report here on 540 ESPN. Don't look at me with those daggers in your eyes. I can't believe you hate this. Our Facebook fans love the opportunity to select the themes, and look at you.
And this is what they select.
What's wrong with it, Dave?
Avatar?
There are no blue tails involved with this.
No. Al Snow's old gimmick.
Steve.
Was this Shinobi? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Shinobi.
All right, this is...
Habuki.
The great Kabuki.
Thank you, John Orchard, for choosing Orient Express.
Holy crap, John Orchard picked this one?
Fan of the year.
John, that just
Holla.
lost you like about 500 cool points.
No.
You of all people, John Orchard?
I like it.
Okay.
I like, we dig back in the vaults and get the theme songs back, especially from the 80s. I love it, so I'm down.
Still to come here on the Pro Wrestling Report, Shane Helms joins us in just a few minutes here on this very program. And before we do that, let's continue talking about WWE Raw. Dolph Ziggler. He still wants you to follow that, Frank. A little bit of a enhanced attitude from Ziggy.
Yeah, and they kind of teased a little bit of him leaving with his manager, quote unquote.
Oh, he left her to fend for himself.
Right. I like it.
Does Dolph Ziggler have potential to be a top-level star in WWE in the next 8 months?
8 months? Yes, he does.
David Hero?
He was already a top-level star at Royal Rumble.
A sustained top-level star. Does he have that potential in the next 8 months?
Yes, absolutely. He's got Vicky.
Excuse me?
Not for long.
Yeah, he does. Listen, as good as Dolph Ziggler is in the ring, he needs Vicky to sustain the heat he gets.
But they wouldn't bring, in my opinion, they wouldn't bring up, you don't need her line if they didn't plan something like that in the next 3 to 6 months.
Anywhere.
I think she leaves in the next 2 months from him.
Is that score correct?
Yes, the Giants lead the Bears.
This football?
It looks like it.
Sweet Lord. Beth Phoenix. Well, she had some physicality for Miss Kelly. And Beth Phoenix no longer smiling and a cute diva, if you will. More on that later.
I like it. In my opinion, she's the best diva.
The Glamazon, I think, will be much better in this role because she is a dominant presence amongst the divas in WWE. And it's almost like they're sort of reverting back, and you'll see more on SmackDown this Friday. It's almost like they're reverting back to this whole thing they started with Karma, where she was the anti-diva. Now we see Beth Phoenix doing that, and as I said, you'll see the progression of that this Friday on SmackDown as well. I like this direction with the divas, a little more physicality, a little bit more time given to them. They had a match which included a commercial break.
That was
this
amazing.
past Monday night on Raw.
Amazing. The commercial break was longer than the Battle Royal. But you already knew that.
What's next for Beth Phoenix?
The Divas Championship.
Yeah.
That's what's next for her.
That could be very soon.
She's a rock star.
stays healthy. That's her
Beth
key.
Phoenix is the dominant diva on the roster. Hands down.
Zack Ryder back on Raw this past Monday night. Got a bit of a better reaction this time than he did last week.
Same result. Well, no, a different result, I guess. He won last week. This week he wound up on his back.
Mm-hmm. Well, he beat Michael Cole last week. Woo.
Thanks, Frank. Well, thank you, Linda.
You're welcome.
Frank.
I know there's three
Frank.
woos.
No, Frank didn't know it.
I guess not.
Dum-dum.
You know what? They're going to take this kid apart.
Zack Ryder?
They really are.
What do you mean?
In a good way?
No, in a bad way. They've already started the destruction of Zack Ryder. They have.
They're going to match him up with somebody.
You watch what happens on SmackDown this week, and you will see that. I mean, maybe they're going to take him apart to rebuild him, but not good. He should
Santino was just a one-time.
He should have agreed to the deal to put his show on .com. Didn't do it.
Oh, it is on YouTube.com.
But the wrong .com.
He and Santino was just a 1-week deal?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
It had been a while since we'd seen Santino on Raw, it felt like, as well.
Yeah, wait till they start selling a little green gimmick for all the kids to put on their end.
It had definitely been a while since we had heard good
Did
old
you ever play
JR.
with sock puppets?
I'm sorry?
Did you ever play with sock puppets?
I put a sock on the door every now and again.
Okay.
We would not only see... You totally threw me off there, David Hero, but what I was saying is Jim Ross was back for a full broadcast of WWE Raw for the first time in nearly 3 years.
Didn't feel like it, did it?
Didn't feel like it at all. How more obnoxious can Michael Cole get? And he's playing, all of them are playing a role, obviously, but is this too much focus on Michael Cole and his heelish ways at the broadcast booth as opposed to three guys sitting there calling the action on Raw and letting Jim Ross do what Jim Ross does best, get us invested in what's happening?
I think it's too many in the booth. It's too many voices. It's just there's no flow to it yet because JR's very good at what he does. But then now it's Michael Cole playing the heel thing, which I'm kind of sick of already. And back in the day, it was Jerry Lawler that had that role.
I can't believe you guys don't like it.
I don't like it.
I miss just the King and JR. I miss that chemistry. And then with Cole in the way. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like the heel persona, but I miss the chemistry, the flow.
It's
of the
like
former
three
Raw
men
days.
in a tub.
What?
It is.
Rub-a-dub-dub?
Yeah, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. All three of those guys.
You've been talking about that all week. Why are you into nursery rhymes all of a sudden?
Oh, come on. That's where it's at. It's like the new, rap song. It's all about nursery rhymes.
Frank, this past Monday's Raw overall, forward, backward progression, good or bad for the E?
Good. It sets up SummerSlam, so I thought it was good that way. But I didn't think it made any upward or downward movement for that matter.
David Hero.
SummerSlam is next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
And they've
Not at the Slinger Speedway.
really only announced 3 matches.
I
Right?
think we've got a little bit more than that. Let me check. You don't have to wait while I check.
Well, I'm
This
just
is
saying.
great.
I mean,
We'll be
holy
back.
crap.
Kristen Orton, you're right. A no-holds-barred match. Kelly, Beth Phoenix for the Divas Championship and title versus title to determine the undisputed WWE Champion. CM Punk versus John
SummerSlam.
Cena.
One of the top 3 pay-per-views of the year.
Usually
Yep.
is.
Isn't even completely booked a week and a half out.
Is it because they don't know what they're going to do?
You know what? It's arrogance, is what it is. Because they're just assuming everyone's going to order it because it's SummerSlam.
Rick
And-
Martel's going to be in a match?
Yes.
And they've had the promos, having it all be in L.A. and CeeLo Green and all that. But you're right, 3 matches only.
I'm telling you
That's
right
not good
now,
enough.
because of the 3 matches signed, this doesn't want to make me order this pay-per-view. You've already seen Orton and Christian a gazillion times.
Obviously, they're banking big
Cena
time on
and Punk is not going to live up to the hype of last month
Absolutely
at
not.
all.
There's no way.
And let's face it, Kelly and Beth Phoenix.
Obviously, that's
When's the last
secondary.
time you've been intrigued about a Divas match on WWE pay-per-view?
Alicia Fox and Gail Kim.
on a WWE pay-per-view.
Alicia Fox and Gail Kim last
This
summer.
match, I think, is going to be interesting, as I think it will signal a new direction for the Divas division in WWE.
They have to. Because, you know what, let's face it. You know what,
Stale.
Kelly,
It's stale.
you know what, she's a beautiful young girl, but the fact of the matter is, you put the belt around her. She can't put the belt around her waist, it falls off. She has to put it on her shoulder.
Could fly away, too.
So, that's just my thought. I think Beth Phoenix is the face. She is what the Divas division has to be made about.
Pass or fail for Raw this past Monday night, David Hero.
It was a passing show. Wasn't great, but it was a passing show. And it was passing because of how it started and how it ended. It makes you kind of forget about the middle.
And that makes for good WWE TV, in my opinion.
You like that ending?
Absolutely.
That was fun. I can't remember seeing it before. It was new.
Yeah, dueling belts in the ring.
Almost
Come on,
corny.
that's great.
Almost corny with the
Extremely
music,
corny.
but still good.
Okay, I did see a corniness to it, but yeah, you guys.
You ever
like
heard
it?
Lewis Black talk about candy corn?
No.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report. When we come back, Shane Helms is our guest, and
Sugar Shane.
he's always a great listen here on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Stop stalking your ex and be our friend on Facebook and join the tremendous worldwide discussion. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Report.
Everybody start gasping. I'm ready for lights, camera, action. Go! You already know what it is. It's your boy.
540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report here on 540 ESPN. ESPNMilwaukee.com. It's tag team themes tonight, and I guess we had no choice but to play the 3-count theme as we welcome our next guest.
That is some rockin' music.
Shane, I had nothing to do with this. This was all Linda Kay.
It's great, man. It always makes me laugh.
Shane Helms, welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report. Thank you for joining us here on this special Wednesday night show. And it's been a while since we talked to you. You've had an eventful last few months. And firstly, looking to hear an update on your condition after that very scary motorcycle accident you had a couple of months back.
Well, yeah, I'm doing pretty good. You know, eventful is kind of a good word to describe pretty much my entire life. But, you know, it's mostly good, but, you know, the injury is pretty rough, you know, but I just had another little procedure on my mouth today to kind of get my teethuses back in order. But everything's going good. I still can't walk or anything. My girlfriend's fabulous. She's already back training. You know, she's a figure model, and she's already back doing her thing. So she's, you know, 1,000% better, and I still got a little ways to go, but I'm still alive and kicking.
Are you in the eradicator chamber yet or no?
Am I what?
In the eradicator chamber.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, my
Tremendous.
goodness. Come on. That's where Superman would go to heal.
The Eradicator Chamber?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Wow,
I
Shane.
need one.
That hurt, man. Ouch. You must be a Marvel guy, huh?
Yeah, I grew up more of a Marvel. I was never, I mean, I love all of them. I was never one of those guys that had to pick a team, you know, a company, but I never really got into Superman as much as others did.
Mm-hmm. Tremendous.
Too inconsistent. I mean, in one book, he's, you know, having trouble catching a burglar, and in the next book, you know, he could, you know, fight monsters in space. It was just too crazy for me.
Did you like the Green Lantern movie?
Well, I haven't seen it. You know, I haven't. I've been pretty much bedridden and
Yeah,
mobile.
but you have all the hookups that get all the, you know, the DVDs and
Bootleg.
all. Yeah, bootlegs. I didn't want to say it, but yeah. So.
Yeah, I didn't. I kind of wanted to wait for the good one to come out. But
Well, Shane,
that's been the worst part because I missed that. I missed X-Men, a couple of other ones. I missed Thor. You know, so I'm just missing out, man. Got a lot of nothing to do.
with these injuries that you sustained in this accident, obviously suffering several injuries along your wrestling career as well, it sounds as if you took the biggest beating in your life in this accident. But how do you compare it to the neck injury that you suffered from?
The neck injury, I guess, I mean, it's very similar but very different at the same time. With my neck, I almost severed my spinal cord. Mm-hmm. And so, two things happen when you do that. You either die or you're in a wheelchair. And
right.
Neither one of those things are very good. So, but after this surgery, surgery, the pain from my neck itself kind of went away, like, immediately. Like, I was very weak on my right side, but the second which is weird because everybody else was that had this procedure was the left side that was hurt. But my right side was very weak. But the second, I woke up, it was, 100% stronger than before the surgery. I had a lot of nerve damage that was very painful, and I had months of some really bad pain, but the pain was nowhere near what this is. I have more breaks than the doctor could count. Wow. He said, he goes, I didn't even try to count. Right now I got 4 plates and 23 screws in my foot, and I had 2 pins in there. They took those out, and they're going to take one of the screws out. So, my foot, I almost lost the foot. I almost lost my life, but the foot almost, didn't make it.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're glad to hear that your recovery is going good. Obviously, still a road to travel down as it pertains to that. But you haven't been just resting. You've been busy as well. I understand that iPhone users can now take Shane Helms with them wherever they go.
Yeah, that's right. That's a project that I've kind of had in the works for a while. I wanted to do it when I was with the WWE, but as anybody that'll tell you, when you're with the E, they kind of own your soul, so you can't really do anything outside of them, project wise. But I definitely wanted to do it. The second I got an iPhone and I saw apps and all the fun you could have with the different apps, I was like, man, I got to get one of these apps for myself. And then I also started to develop ideas for other apps that had nothing to do with me. And somewhere along the line, fate intervened. Chris Kanyon, one of my great friends, rest in peace, was a really great guy. And it turns out that a friend of his actually develops apps. And him and Chris were going to try to make a wrestler app at one time. And so I was, talking to him about my different ideas, not having any idea how much they really cost to make. And one of my ideas that I was going to do, I found out it would cost about $150,000 just to, start developing the app. So I kind of gave up on that one pretty fast. I don't think that one didn't make it past page 1. But then we went back to it, talking with the guys, and it was just like, well, let's just, let's make one for you. Let's do that. And so I got hooked up with this company, and they're called Figure 4 Apps, which is a great name. And we just started talking about ideas, and finally I just said, well, let's do it, man. And no matter what, let's do it. Let's put plant the flag in the ground and let's get going. I was kind of always been one of the trendsetters as far as the internet and that, stuff goes. I was the first wrestler on MySpace, the first one on Twitter, and, I introduced all these other guys to this stuff to try to get them to do it. And, so just another thing that I, beat people to the punch to, but it's really doing well. And the company's really happy. We wanted to do even better, though. Based on the success of this one, I'm pretty sure that other guys can get theirs, too. So it's fun no matter what, and it's unique.
And I understand you can insert your picture with Shane Helms. You can also, put your...
It's actually pretty funny.
Your grill on there. All that can be found at ShaneHelms.com. You can also win a call from Shane Helms right at that website, ShaneHelms.com.
Well, that's how I got this one done.
Yeah. It turns out I thought the soundboard was actually going to be, and people do like the soundboard. They like to hear my stupid stuff that I say. But and I did get the PG warning before we went live, by the way.
We forgot that last time and paid the price.
It's a struggle, but I'm working on. But my app, by the way, you have to be 17 to buy it.
17.
Well, I don't know. It's whatever age something pops up, and you gotta be over a certain age. I don't know who decides that, but
yeah. Well, and I also see you have some shirts available, and one that should be very popular because it seems like it mirrors a lot of the fans' opinions at this point. Is PG sucks?
Yeah, that's something that I came with out immediately once I started doing my Highway to Helms show, which is on hiatus until I get. Like I said, till I get my teeth all in order. Because some of them went on an exodus in the accident. So once that gets old, I'm going to bring that back. But yeah, some of the stuff that's kind of getting popular for other people to say now, I've been saying for like a year straight.
Right.
On the Highway to Helms show. And I don't think people get confused when I say that. I don't mean everything PG says, but I'm saying just put everything under that banner where you have these big tough guys come out there saying, I'm going to kick your butt. There's a real disconnect from there. You just can't sound tough doing stuff like that. You need I mean, wrestling's edgy, and life ain't PG. There's nothing in life that's PG. If you watch the news, people are getting murdered, raped, robbed all day long. None of it's PG, you know, and especially a sport that involves beating people up. It's just not PG by definition alone. You know, it's just, some of it's kind of silly, and I know, and people would, you know, kind of say, you know, kind of accuse me of a little hypocrisy because I was a superhero, but one of my T-shirts said "Biatch" on the back. I definitely wasn't the most PG of superheroes anyway, and that was a shirt that was my idea and I designed anyway. But, I mean, I love wrestling. It was nothing against WWE. It was just I don't like the, you know.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man. I don't need that 10-year-old reading level, you know.
It's your opinion, which is, as I said, shared with millions of wrestling fans all over the world. Now, we talk about wrestling, and I'm sure you still watch. Mm-hmm. Obviously, a buzz has been created as of late over the entire business, mostly because of the realism that people detected in what CM Punk had to say a few weeks ago. Now, obviously, you know a lot of the people involved in this, specifically Triple H, and with Triple H taking over this COO role, at least on TV in WWE, do you see maybe that happening? Maybe we're getting back away. I'm not going to say what everyone else talks about, which is the return of the Attitude Era, because I don't think you can really return to that, but more edge in WWE based off of what you know and what you experienced there and what you've seen lately on TV?
I definitely hope so. You know, I mean, I think, you know, when Rock came back, you know, he definitely didn't abide by those rules at all. And, you know, so, I mean, I just, like I said, you need that edge. You know, you can't watch Three's Company all the time. You know, you need especially our
Well, it depends on what version of Three's Company you're watching.
Roper or Furley?
Yeah. Come and knock on my door.
You know,
I definitely hope so, because the edge was the excitement. You know, and even though, like, Punk isn't doing anything like you know, non-PG, it's very edgy. You know, and that's cool, man. It's just, wrestling needs to be cool again. I know he said he wants to make it fun again. I want it to be cool again.
You know,
back, you know, in that Monday Night War, it was just the coolest thing on the planet, you know, pro wrestling was, and that's what I want back.
You know, we talk about the depth of the Raw and SmackDown rosters, and, you know, right now on Raw, it's all about Punk and Cena, now Triple H. Who do you think is after that? I mean, you got Del Rio, you got Miz, but, you know, of the younger guys that they have, everyone talks about Zack Ryder. Do you think that he has the potential to be one of those breakthrough guys?
Zack is, you know, he's definitely got a ton of potential. You know, what he lacks in the ring, he has an outside personality, and what they need to do is just, you know, he's the guy that needs to be doing skits and more backstage stuff. We might not necessarily need to see him in a ring type thing. I mean, I'm not saying he's bad. I'm saying he's good. But where he excels, as you can tell from his YouTube thing, is an actual personality. So he could be, like, I like what they're doing with him on SmackDown now. Let him do that, and then that can help him break, you know, the chains that have been on him for quite some time. Because he is a funny guy. You know, very funny. And like I said, that YouTube stuff, which I'm positive he's not getting a cent of, as WWE is.
Yeah.
You know, I'm glad that they used him in the aspect. I really thought him and Santino were going to win the tag team titles last night. Not last night, but Monday night. And I was actually hoping they were when they did, and I was like, oh, well. And my girlfriend, who has been watching with me ever since we've been together going on a year now, sweetie, the tag team champions won, and she goes, who are those guys?
I forgot there were tag team champions until they came out.
And it's so crazy that could be the hottest, you know, the hottest thing going could be tag team wrestling if they just did, you know, if they just used it properly and get rid of those ugly belts. I was talking about this too, I don't know if you guys saw, but it's crazy that the biggest wrestling company in the world has the ugliest belts.
Yeah.
I've seen independent belts that look better. The tag team belts are awful. That Cena belt is awful.
Yep.
It's recognizable, and I'll give them that.
They got the 2 big pennies for the tag belts, and then a Liberace cast-off as the E-Championship.
I'll tell you a funny story about those belts. They brought them out to the ring. I forgot who had them, but it was before Hunter and Shawn got them. So whoever had them before then, whoever had the tag team titles before then.
Miz and Big Show, maybe? Or Jericho and Big Show?
I don't even remember. But it was before, you know, it was before the combination of the titles when there were still 2 of them. And but so they brought these out, and they brought them. Hey,
That's all right.
Everybody thought they looked bad, and I remember Taker goes, "Oh, what do you think about these?" I said, they look like baby shoes.
They were bronze.
Because I don't know if they still do that, but when I was a kid, they would take baby shoes and bronze them.
And bronze them, man.
That's
Yeah, and
hilarious.
then, like, I think Stephanie actually helped design them. I don't mind the actual design of the belts, but the thing, I don't know. No
Who
matter what.
puts Trojan helmets on a tag title? You know?
Yeah, I kind of see what she was going for, and that is a rumor that she designed them. Somebody told me that. Like, I remember going, "Oh, you shouldn't say that because Stephanie designed them," and I was like, you know, I doubt she would care that I call them baby shoes. Warrior, going for the warrior aspect, Spartans and Trojans and all that thing. And maybe it was because of the success of 300. Maybe, you know, the movie 300. Maybe something like that was what spawned the idea. But
Well, she has had a lot of babies over the last few years, so maybe it is the baby shoes.
yeah, there you go. But yeah,
The baby belts.
like the Cena belt, they're recognizable.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I mean, but not really good. You know, it's just. I guess if I saw a turd laying around, I'd recognize what that is.
We talked earlier about ShaneHelms.com, your website where you can pick up that app. You can watch Highway to Helms and check out the archived episodes of that and watch it when it returns. But you also are very, very vocal and very powerful on Twitter. Tell us, what's your favorite thing about Twitter? What is it? What really just do you enjoy most about your account on Twitter at ShaneHelms.com?
I like the feedback. You know, I'm not up until my app. I wasn't really one of those guys that kind of talked about myself and what I was doing all the time, like some guys do. I put up like funny jokes and stuff like that, and I like the feedback and the interaction with the people. I mean, now I have, you know, the app is obviously very important, so I'm kind of talking about that. So I just like the instantaneous. You know, people get it. People aren't doing the instantaneous thing as much anymore as marketing research has shown.
Mm-hmm.
So before, when Twitter first came out, everybody had to go onto their phone.
Right.
And that's why it was called Twitter, because the default sound was the tweet of a person's text going off.
Mm-hmm.
But now, you know, like the average Twitter person follows, like, I guess it's like 350 people. You can't have your phone going on 350 pages. That'd be crazy. So that led to the success of the Twitter apps. You know, I use Tweetbot, there's Echo Phone, the Twitter app, whatever.
Uh-huh.
Now most people just go to Twitter and scroll and read and pick apart what they want. So we've lost the instantaneous aspect of it, but I still, it's a feedback thing for me, you know, because I've done that with fans since I've, you know, been in wrestling pretty much. Before the internet, I would actually answer fan mail. You know, I would write them back. Well, I would type back letters. I started my own personal website in 1996.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, me and Jericho have the two longest running wrestling websites ever. You know, he's taken his down and retired a couple times, so I think I win this battle. But I've always been that guy that really, you know, wanted to hear. I never quit being a fan, and a lot of guys do, and I think that's why I'm like that. But I just like the interaction. The negative is you get some haters on there, and that can be annoying, but
They're fun.
they can be fun. I mean, anytime I blast people, I'm saying it like laughing. I never really get on there and say, man, I'll say bad stuff, but I'm laughing when I say it, so nobody ever really gets to me. But,
You know, you just said that you're still a fan. Who are you a fan of right now when you're watching any of the shows?
I'm a definite fan of the Punk angle. You know, that's been really crazy. I'm a huge Evan Bourne fan. They could do so much with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they brought in this Sin Cara, and Sin Cara is, you know, incredibly talented. So I'm like, Evan Bourne is right here.
Right.
And you don't have to teach him to talk. You don't have to do anything. He's right. I don't know if you noticed it, but he's right here.
Yeah.
He's absolutely amazing. They just need. They have a lot of agents out there that don't go out of their way to teach the talent the stuff he's doing wrong. So if there's things he's doing wrong, you know, there's very few agents that go out of their way to talk to the guys. They want the guys to come to them. They got that old school mentality, you know. But he definitely is so super talented. You know, Morrison's great. I still think there's a lot of stuff they should do with Miz. And it could do. You know, he's a top guy, whether people want to admit it or not. I don't know why he's wearing that. I think what's killing him image-wise right now is that T-shirt he wears to the ring all the time. One of the worst T-shirts they've ever made. He goes from looking like a world champion to looking like, you know, he just got off NXT.
You know,
But Morrison's crazy talented. Christian's awesome. I love watching Randy. You know, and Randy's still got a lot of years left in him. Christian does too. So I mean, he's very talented. Sheamus is doing good. I'm actually a fan of Wade Barrett too. I tweeted that he should call himself Wade the Blade Barrett. Give him some flavor.
There's a lot of good young talent. They just haven't found the way, I think, to present them the right way yet.
But every one of those talents, Shane, you just mentioned are from WWE. Any shining stars, young stars in TNA? In your opinion?
I definitely watch TNA. I mean, it's hard to say young because they've been around for a while, but of course, Beer Money's awesome. I think Shannon's awesome.
They've been spending a lot of time on Crimson as of late, seemingly investing in him.
Yeah, Crimson's I see potential on Crimson. Gunner's good. Gunner's really good. Who's the other guy? There's another guy I was watching the other day, and I thought it was good. I like what they're doing, too, as far as they're going to bring in Austin Aries is, definitely. I tried to get him hired with WWE.
Uh-huh.
I spoke to Johnny East about him and Daivari at the same time, and they ended up using Daivari, but I tried to get Austin hired twice. But sometimes it don't matter what you say. But that's the thing, too, when they're WWE, when they're struggling to build stars, I always just want to scream out, like, there are, 100 stars. I mean, there's stars everywhere that you can get. You don't have to go find these nobodies and train them. There are stars out there that are seasoned and ready to go. Now, I mean, I heard a rumor that the Kings of Wrestling are going there, and I don't know if that's true or not, but because I don't really know those guys, so I didn't ask them the last time I saw them. But, I mean, those guys are seasoned and ready to go. I remember when I went to FCW, and this is kind of how the system works sometimes. When I was coming back from my neck injury, Dolph Ziggler hadn't came up yet, and he was still down there.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny Ace came up to me and he's like, we're going to see you down there, and I want you to have a look around and see who's good. And I was like, okay, sure. So I was down there, I was trying to get back in ring shape, which I never did, by the way. But I did something. And they came and asked me, who I thought was good, and I was like, yeah, this guy's all right. They asked me about a particular guy, and I ain't want to bury him or anything, but I said, no, that guy's not really at all. And they said, well, who do you think he is? And I said, Nick. Dolph is Nick. And I go, Nick. I said, Nick's ready. I said, Nick don't need to be here at all.
Mm-hmm.
And so 2 weeks later, did you not, the guy I said wasn't ready at all, made TV, and it still took another 4 or 5 months before Ziggler did.
Wow.
And I was just like, why did y'all ask me? Because but then I came to find out in OVW, I forgot who told me. Lance Storm would tell me, because everybody I told him to bring up, they wouldn't. And so I kept telling him that these guys were bad. He was trying to do like the bloke. Oh, that Randy Orton sucks. Don't bring him up. So I don't know. They're real crazy.
Last time you were on, you had a lot of comments about Shawn Michaels. And, after you had been on the show, we had a lot of feedback from a lot of listeners saying, how dare you talk about Shawn Michaels in such a way. And it was difficult to explain how you obviously know Shawn. Shawn obviously knows you, and obviously you two can speak to your relationship and to the things that you guys dealt with. But have things gotten better or worse? Are you still in the same place you were last time as it pertains to Shawn Michaels?
Yeah, I mean, I still feel the same about him. I mean, like I said last time I was during the show, I don't hate the guy. But,
right. Everybody missed that point, though. Everybody missed that point about you not hating him. Everyone thought that's what...
I hate what he did. And I hate the way he treated me when he didn't have to. I tell you, here's another little insight. He came to me one time and was asking me, his kid loves superheroes. And, he didn't let his kid watch wrestling or anything, but he knew of the Hurricane and stuff like that, and was asking me about any comic books that he could get for his kid. Obviously, I don't read, 4 or 5-year-old, whatever level, reading level comics, but I said, I'll try to find out, I said, of course, I know a lot of people. So I went to a comic book shop and bought his kid some comic books.
Wow.
I mean, I like the guy. I always respected the guy, and I looked up to him. And then, for no reason whatever, he goes to agents and starts, moaning about me doing the choke slam. And all he had to do was just come to me and say, look, I'm working Kane on this on the main event. Can you not do it? And I wouldn't even have thought twice. I'm sure no problem. I never wanted to do the choke slam anyway. I thought it was funny when I couldn't do it. But, one day, during the finish of the match, from Vince himself, was that I finally started hitting it. So I'm just doing my job.
Right.
He could have been professional. He could have just been a person. That's just something, what I had to do to choke slam. I got the call from Vince to do it, I still went out of my way to go talk to Baker. And I came and I said, look, this is, I don't want to piss you guys off, what I do here. And they're like, go ahead, do it. We don't care. I didn't get to talk to Show because Big Show wasn't there. He was on Raw or whatever, for whatever reason he wasn't there. But I would have asked him too. And that's just a basic respect, not even mainly as a professional, but also as a person. And then, Sean could have came to me and said that instead of going to agents and getting me in trouble and getting Test in trouble. Test actually got more heat for the situation than I did.
Yeah.
Because I did it to him. And I did it to him, the church slam 50 times.
Right.
Fans loved it. Nobody cared. The difference between me doing a choke slam and Kane should be obvious to anybody.
Yeah, but you got superpowers, man.
Yeah, I got super. It's a super. So that, and there's a couple other situations. Like I said, I'm not gonna get into it anymore. Somebody asked me if we ever had it might even be you guys, but it's like if he apologized or totally. If we would just say, look, man, I forgot. I didn't know it affected you, and maybe he doesn't realize how much power he had up there. I believe he does. I know he does. But maybe for, devil's advocate, maybe he doesn't.
Well, according to internet reports, he's the guy that saved CM Punk, so.
Yeah, I've heard that, but, and I'm not saying I don't believe that. I'm saying I believe that maybe because Punk was on ECW and not Raw.
Yeah.
I think it's because he was on a different show. If he would have been on the same show, that might not have been the case.
Different story.
But, it doesn't mean he's a bad guy 100%.
It's difficult, I think, at times for people to understand, because you are celebrities, because you are in the public spotlight, that sometimes the conditions that you deal with when you're not in that spotlight with your, for lack of a better word, coworkers, is no different than other people in environments where they're working with others. There are people you like, there are people you don't like, and sometimes it's just business, not personal. And I think it was difficult for people to put their arms around that, and they got wrapped up in the moment. So it's good to hear a further explanation of those comments of last time.
Yeah, I totally don't hate the guy. If he, as far as wrestling, he's still going to go down as one of the best ever, and that has nothing to do with anything. And I'll go down as one of the craziest ever, and that, and nothing's going to change that. But it is what it is. It is what, like I said, if he came in and just said, hey, look, man, I'm sorry, I had no idea it bothered you that bad or whatever, I would say, water under the bridge, that's all you had to say. I don't carry prejudice. As mad as I get, I could be fuming right now, and you give me about 10 minutes, and I really could care less.
ShaneHelms.com. You can get your very own Shane Helms app on your iPhone. And
when's the Android app coming out?
They're working on it. There's a situation with the picture thing that we do. Mm-hmm. I could have the Android app could be out now, but it would be out without the picture feature. And judging by the iPhone app, that's what everybody loves the most, so I don't want to put it out until it's good. And I do want people to know that I don't actually make the apps myself. That was based on me. I don't actually do it myself.
Well, we want to thank you, Shane, for coming on, especially as you are trying to get yourself as healthy as possible after that accident. ShaneHelms.com. You can get the app. You can get the T-shirts. You can get all kinds of fun there at that website. Also, ShaneHelms.com on Twitter, at ShaneHelms.com on Twitter. And you're also on Facebook, Shane, correct?
Yeah, that's what the contest is. We're trying to, that we're doing. The Facebook is facebook.com/ShaneHelms.com. Use the little picture feature on my app and take the craziest picture you can, post it on there, and we're going to make a gallery. And from there, once every 2 weeks or whatever, I'll pick somebody, to call and the pictures do not have to be PG. Let me go ahead and throw that out.
Because PG sucks, as you said. Shane, thank you so much for joining us here on the program. We look forward to talking to you again soon. Best of luck with your recovery. And again, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure. And in case you missed it, Green Lantern, who was paralyzed, knocked Superman out with one punch. And I'm out.
This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
Norm, you talking?
Hell yeah. Now this is a tag team theme song.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report here on 540 ESPN, ESPNMilwaukee.com. Damian Nelson here along with the Kaz, Linda Kay, and David Octavius, that Tiberius, the Backyard Hall of Famer, hero.
You're so rude.
And I want to thank Shane Helms for joining us again. Always great to talk to Shane. He's real and just gives it like it is. And thank you very much for coming on and joining us here tonight. And thank you all for your comments on Twitter and in the chat room on Blog Talk Radio as we were talking to Shane. But New Age Outlaws, part of our tag team theme tonight.
And go ahead, Linda.
Sorry about
It's
that.
all you.
It's all me.
Take it.
Thank you, Corey McGinn, for choosing the New Age Outlaws.
You know what? And the New Age Outlaws are going to be in town tomorrow.
In this town?
At the Ozaki County Fair in Cedarburg, Wisconsin.
That's not this town.
Well, it's close enough. The New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy, Tracy Brooks is going to be there, Scotty Tuhati, and our very good close personal friend, Al Snow.
Tremendous.
7:30 bell time in Cedarburg at the county fair. Go to blizzardbrawl.com for more information. Tickets start at just $10.
BlizzardBrawl.com for all the info on that show. Lots of stars on that one, David Hero, and it's always easy to get up close and personal with a lot of those stars at those shows. So, see you tomorrow night at the Ozaki County Fair. What we want to do, though, tonight is hear from you because we are in the phone zone. We're taking your phone calls, your comments on Raw this past Monday night, Impact last week, SmackDown last week, as well as anything else going on in the wrestling world. The number, 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776, 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776 as well. Still to come in this program, though, we've got trivia with the Cos. You have your question ready?
It's all set.
Excellent. Did you run it through legal to make sure everything good here in this hood?
It looks good to me.
Fan of the Week, Vintage Video, our YouTube challenge, and our Tweet of the Week. But let's go to the phones, and very patient Scott in Hawaii on line 2. Scott, you're live.
Hey, aloha to the PWR crew. How you guys doing tonight?
Fantastic.
Aloha.
Which island are you calling from, Scott?
I'm from the main one, Oahu, Damien.
Tremendous.
Awesome.
What do you have for us tonight?
So I was wondering, last week on SmackDown, we saw Sheamus do a face turn against Mark Henry. I wanted to know what the outstanding and best PWR crew, what everybody thought about that.
You know, Scott, first let's hear what you thought about it, because it was a pretty big move in the career of Sheamus, and now we see that match at SummerSlam that we presume will happen between the two. I think it might become obvious this week on SmackDown. Sorry about that. But what did you think of Sheamus going good?
Honestly, I love it. I was never the biggest Sheamus fan. Sorry, Dave. But all of a sudden, seeing him come out as a face and hearing him get a pop and hearing his name get cheered, I gotta admit, I think I'm jumping on that bandwagon. I can certainly get behind Sheamus.
Amigo, there's plenty of room for you on the Sheamus bandwagon. I mean, when we were in Chicago, he got a great reaction from the crowd.
And he performed.
They went nuts for him, which almost, I think, is what, was the catalyst for the babyface turn for Sheamus.
Damn, I guess we already know that, but I'm on the bandwagon. I'm wondering how everybody else is going to take it.
Well, Scott, thank you very much for calling from Hawaii, and we'll go around the table here. And firstly, I'd say Sheamus is a stud. Sheamus is he's got that. He's special. He's unique. He's got the power. He's got the brutality behind him. He's marketable. I can buy Sheamus as a fan favorite. I can definitely do that, especially, look at the contrast with him and Mark Henry. That's actually an intriguing story.
You can just adjust your TV controls for that.
Folks, don't adjust your sets.
But listen,
This isn't smell-o-vision.
The way they booked Mark Henry lately, how he took out Big Show, took out Kane, makes him, one of the biggest, baddest monsters in the entire WWE universe. And now here comes Sheamus, another big, strong bull of a guy. And I honestly think those two are going to have a pretty good feud, because as much as they are similar, they're also very different and unique in their ring styles. Sheamus is the kind of guy that can pick up Mark Henry and body slam him. So I think those two can have a legitimate fight.
They worked it well. They built up Henry enough to where people cared.
I think I might pick up Sheamus on the Super Friends team for Matt Morgan.
You could. I like it. It's obviously this is Sheamus's first babyface turn. and we'll see how long it lasts.
But you know what's cool?
But they did build up. They built up Henry. The timing was good.
If you're going to be a good babyface, you first have to be a great heel.
Absolutely.
And that's what Sheamus was. People hated him, whether it was because they thought he was Triple H's, guy or whatnot, or because, he was, beating up John Cena. But because he knew how to be such a good heel, he just become that much of a better babyface. And that's what they can make a ton of money with Sheamus. Just, as much as I love Hornswoggle, please don't pair those two up together. That would just kill the whole thing off. But
not as far as fans go. Fans love Hornswoggle, and I think that might be the icing on the cake for a good guy
they
Sheamus.
need to keep Sheamus with an edge.
Right.
If you bring in Hornswoggle, then it's a little bit too much funny ha-ha, and that's going to kill off some of the realism of Sheamus.
If they do that, then the edge part of it, quote unquote, is gone.
Exactly.
Hopefully it's not for a while.
Did Finlay lose his edge? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was no longer, the big bruiser, the tough guy.
He didn't love to fight anymore.
No, not at all.
Mm-mm.
He gained his smile.
Didn't like the national anthem either.
Well, he liked it.
Just cut it short.
The Miz better.
Yeah. How about that? Shane Helms talking about your boy Miz, saying they can do more with him.
Because he, much like me, appreciates great talent, David Hero. You can't seem to do that in many
He didn't
cases.
like the T-shirt, though.
No. You know what? Ever since he got the T-shirt, he's tanked.
Or ever since you stole him in the draft, which, by the way, coming up this Sunday is TNA's Hardcore Justice. We're going to be doing Be the Booker on primetime, which will be available tomorrow night after Impact Wrestling. David Hero, I don't think you even have any players in the game on the pay-per-view tomorrow night as it pertains to the draft, and I got about 6 peeps. Wow, stepping up.
Could pick up some points.
I'll pick them up.
Well, he needs the points.
Frank's ready to give you the update next week when we're back on Monday night with how things went at Hardcore Justice as far as the draft points go.
Mm-hmm.
How far behind? It's a 90-point game. Less than 100. We're virtually neck and neck.
No.
It's a nail-biter.
Well, for some people, I'm pretty confident in my team.
414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776. All over the world at 1-800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776. We bring up TNA Hardcore Justice, and while I can't quite figure out what's hardcore about it, I think we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about Sting from last Thursday night on Impact Wrestling. And not only Sting, but I don't know which phobia it is, but I wasn't aware that Bischoff, being such a farmer and rancher, was so afraid of birds.
Oh, it's a crow, wasn't it?
It's a bird.
Yeah.
Flies. It's got wings.
Sting needs to stop.
Was it the red suit?
Batman.
What if it was purple?
Heath Ledger Joker was a couple years ago.
Right.
Okay? It just makes the whole thing look hokey that now he's the Joker. I understand they're at Universal, and there's a lot of superheroes that are down there, but, are you kidding me?
Whose idea is it?
Doesn't matter. It's a bad idea.
Yeah, but because of Sting and who he is, do you think he has to say, like, hey, you know what, I'm not...
I don't know if
it's,
Sting
he's
is
just doing
Jim
a company
Carrey.
line.
I don't know if he is the Joker or if he's Jack. I don't know who Sting thinks he is.
He's Sting. It's the
I'm
evolution of
just curious
Sting.
on whose idea it is.
One thing that can't be missed is that Sting has stepped up. And while the direction of the story may not be satisfactory to a lot of people...
3 weeks ago, Sting stepped up and he was great.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's hokey.
But is that Sting still delivering, though?
You know what? I don't think he is anymore.
Really?
I don't know.
Really got stale?
Sting is already a character. Why is he now being another character?
But Sting, over the last 20 years, has continued to evolve that character.
Well, he needs to stop evolving because now it's bad.
Ornithophobia. It's the fear of birds.
Okay.
Ron Killings called. He told me that.
Okay.
While you guys were talking.
Well, as long as they don't look up, they're fine. People, that is.
Where do you get these, Frank?
At 11 o'clock.
Frank is the wittiest son of a gum I know.
We talked about John Cena, CM Punk earlier as well, and on Monday's post show for WWE Raw, which is currently the number 4 show overall on Blog Talk Radio. Thank you very much for listening there. and finding that. By the way, I want to mention, as we talk about Blog Talk Radio, did you know, Dave, Frank, Linda, that you can listen to the Pro Wrestling Report live on your phone? Also via the ESPN radio app. All you have to do is go in and search for the local station, 540 ESPN here. Yep. And right now, we are streaming in someone's pocket.
That's how rumors start.
So be sure to grab that app, ESPN radio app, and listen to your local station. Frank, was that a joke grenade? Because the pen's way over there. And
We'll just have to remember streaming.
Well, online.
Never mind.
Too much.
Who should be the legitimate WWE champion right now is the question we put out on our Facebook page. And we wanted your responses to that to talk about tonight on the show. We brought it up during the post show. I don't know if you have that in front of you, Linda. If not, the intern just handed me the results. You have it, actually. There you go. Very good. And I'm a little surprised at how heavily it's like Reagan and Carter, the way this ended up turning out. But, Linda, how'd it go? The choices were John Cena, CM Punk, or both.
Well, the majority goes to who's hot right now. CM Punk, I mean, he's dominating this poll at 91%.
91%?
91. We got John Cena at 7% and just 2% saying both should be the WWE champion right now. So, I mean, obviously, that speaks a lot right there. As we know, we have a ton of fans here. CM Punk is hot. He's number one in many eyes. And shows, I mean, this poll alone.
You know what?
I agree.
Quick quiz question for you guys.
Pop quiz?
Yes. Anybody else cuts that promo that Punk did 3 or 4 weeks ago? Are they just as hot as CM Punk is today?
No.
Is it the promo or is it the wrestler?
It's both.
So you're saying if The Miz cut that promo, he wouldn't be as over as CM Punk is right now?
It wouldn't have fit with The Miz.
There's a level of believability based on CM Punk's
I don't
history
know.
in WWE.
I think anyone that cuts that promo, it applies to almost everybody in the back.
Now, historically speaking, when Mosh did it, when he was Beaver Cleaver or whatever it was, it didn't have a similar impact.
He never cut a promo like that.
No. He walked out.
Anyone that would have, I am willing to bet, anybody that could be given that much free reign, that much creativity in a promo would be just that over.
No.
Come on, it's never been done before.
There has to be believability to it, though.
I can't.
Okay, I'm not saying if Gilbert comes out and cuts that
You just
promo.
said anybody.
Okay, well, let me just, redefine
a
what I
recognized
mean.
talent in WWE right now. I think there is some validity to that, but I also think that CM Punk was that guy. I can't think of anybody else who may have been able to do it effectively.
Batista could have done that.
Absolutely. Batista did something sort of similar.
Wade Barrett could have done that.
All heels.
Well,
King Booker?
See, I would have had a hard time if
Kofi
it was
Kingston could have cut that promo.
See, it wouldn't have been believable.
I think it would have been.
It would have been an impact, but just not as strong.
It would have came off hokey.
Why? Because he has an accent?
Well, maybe that too. But being a face turn, everyone's cheering, and all of a sudden
Evan Bourne could have come out and cut that promo, and Evan Bourne would be over like $1 million today.
What?
Absolutely.
Zack Ryder could have came out and cut that promo.
No, it wouldn't have helped him. But Evan Bourne, absolutely. Any guy on that roster that's been held back a little bit could have cut that promo.
That's the point. And I think you need that qualifier on it. That's been held back a little bit. And arguably Evan Bourne's that person. Arguably Zack Ryder's that person.
Injured, though. That's why
he wasn't injured when he was losing to Alberto Del Rio this past Monday night. That was a great victory for him, by the way, Alberto Del Rio. I think it had to be CM Punk. CM Punk has the look. He had the delivery abilities to make that feel real.
Daniel Bryan Danielson could have cut that promo.
He smiles too much.
Doesn't make Punk smiles all the time.
His smile's a lot like
dark
yours.
Smile.
It's $1 million smile is what you're telling me. I'm just saying, believe me, I am impressed with Punk. What he's done has been absolutely fabulous and tremendous. But I also believe there are 5 or 6 other guys that have been given that opportunity could have pulled off the same thing.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
They know their way around the wrestling ring, but certainly not a whole hell of a lot about being in it. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Radio.
540 ESPN.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. ESPNMilwaukee.com.
You're ruining a great song.
I'm bringing the show back from break, welcoming our listeners back, and throwing to Linda so she can tell us who picked this great song.
Thank you, John Meehan, for picking The Brood. And my favorite entrance ever, I must say.
I have to. This is pretty
It was
awesome.
that like bounce.
It was the cocky walk that Gangrel had.
Yep, with the blood.
Their heads.
Just think, Edge and Christian, two of the biggest stars in wrestling,
Hardys,
started off with The Brood.
Michael Hayes.
Oh, come on. Stop.
He was with the Brood when he was with the Hardys.
That's a time I don't even want to think of.
Let's go back to the phones, and let's go down to Houston, Texas. James, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, guys. How's Milwaukee treating y'all tonight?
Tremendous.
You know, James, I really can't complain about Milwaukee tonight. It's 77 degrees outside.
Hey, I do not want to hear about how cool it is down here. It is 95 degrees down here.
James, I understand you guys are getting ready to be subject to rolling blackouts in Texas due to some power issues.
It's already happened.
Oh.
Yeah,
well, let me know how that works for you. That's interesting.
Oh, no, the power's not going down here. It's cool. I'm cool with the power. First of all, before I get into my question, I saw on y'all's Facebook page that you guys were up 35% on your listener viewership. You guys work very, very hard, and so you guys deserve all the good stuff that's coming to y'all.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And that was last month was a record-breaking month as far as downloads of this radio show and live listens of this radio show as well. So we thank all of you for participating.
No problem, and I'm one of those listeners, and you guys bust y'all's behinds every week, and I enjoy listening to y'all. The question that I have is that I'm one of the many people who enjoyed Money in the Bank, pretty much because of the nucleus around CM Punk and John Cena, and that pretty much filtered down to all the other matches, which made it an overall show. Since the lack of build that is SummerSlam, do you guys think that no matter what they throw at us, it's still going to be an anticlimactic show?
Anticlimactic?
Absolutely.
You know, I don't think you can't, as you always say, David Hero, you can't capture what?
Lightning in a bottle?
And Chicago was very special for Money in the Bank. It was a tight program, and what I mean by that, as far as time frame goes, SummerSlam, let's not forget recent SummerSlams. Remember that DX entrance? Was that last year, 2 years ago? The stage split, and they came out in a tank, and just, you didn't like that either, of course.
I didn't say anything.
It's your face, your looks that you give Linda while we're doing the show here. I think that, and that's what's different about the late 90s or early 2000s compared to now. This momentum carried month to month to month to month to month because they had the depth of talent, not just one or three guys, even though it was focused on one or three guys, but they had the depth of talent to carry that emotion month to month to month.
Do you know what the problem is, Damian Nelson?
What's the problem,
Frank Cosentino, Linda Kay.
Frank's not a problem.
Chicago is a wrestling town.
Wrestling.
Okay? It's like a hotbed.
Even though they had to pick the real Undertaker with Leslie Nielsen back in 1994.
Yes. But now you're going to Hollywood, and I don't think wrestling when I think Hollywood. It's a different crowd out there.
They're a little more laid back.
A lot more laid back. So you can't, there's no way they can recapture the same magic because the crowd is going to be completely different. There's not going to be the hometown boy where they're all going to be going crazy for. And do not say The Miz because he's not from Hollywood.
Ric Flair isn't from Charlotte.
Well, that's where he lives now.
That's where The Miz lives now,
No, he
Los
doesn't.
Angeles.
He still lives in Cleveland.
Let's go to Daryl in Grand Rapids, Michigan. You're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hello, how are you?
Tremendous.
Great.
Oh, my question is about SummerSlam. If you remember back in the day, when they would build it up before, they would have the matches, coming in, streaming in, and they usually carried what happened, back from WrestleMania over to SummerSlam, and they would use it as a way sometimes to finish stuff off. So a lot of the times you might have actually had a better SummerSlam card than you actually did at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Why doesn't it get the love now?
You know, I think, and David Hurl was thinking it for that call, Daryl. David Hurl was making the point earlier about we're 2 weeks out from SummerSlam, only 3 matches are announced. I think the writing's on the wall for several other matches, including Henry and Sheamus, and it looks like we're seeing some aggressive pushing of the tag team situation in WWE. You got to figure Cody Rhodes and The Miz are going to have some kind of matchup because they are the top stars in WWE right now. But I think SummerSlam, it has suffered in the past.
Not be feeling well.
SummerSlam has suffered in the past. Let's not forget SummerSlam 1995. All right? There have been some challenges.
How long ago was that?
That was...
that's when wrestling sucked. Those mid-'90s years.
They were bad.
They were terrible. You had doinks and TL hoppers and goons running around.
And don't forget Frank's old fave, Salvatore Sincere.
Yeah. So, I mean, come on.
Just saying. Thank you for that call, Daryl in Grand Rapids. Well, I think SummerSlam is going to turn out to be a decent show. The question is, can they get enough intrigue behind it before it happens to make it worth buying? They've got some residual they're going to pick up from Money in the Bank as well. Momentum, from Money in the Bank.
I will say this. If Punk loses to John Cena, they will alienate a whole bunch of fans.
And that chance exists.
I don't think so. I think they're behind Punk right now.
But they were also behind Christian. And what I mean by that is, remember how upset everybody got when he lost the title that Friday on SmackDown?
Right, but hold on a second.
But what it led to was worth it.
Who would Randy Orton be wrestling right now if there was no Christian?
Exactly. But that's the point. Cena could win at SummerSlam as part of the long-term greater good.
But he doesn't need it right now.
He doesn't need it at all.
He's already locked into a match with The Rock. 50 points, bonus, super friends.
You're going to need him. You know, I'm a generous guy. I might donate some points, you know.
Wow.
Well, I like to take from the rich and give to the poor.
No. That's fine. I was going to say no to free points.
It's legal.
You got negative points with the Pope on your team, but that's okay.
We're going to take a timeout.
I'm trying to follow this run sheet you gave me.
Yeah.
I can't read any of it.
It's in a, you're fine. What if you put your glasses on? Sitting there trying to be pretty.
Oh.
You need your spectacles for this spectacle.
It's coming.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report, live on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
They know their way around the wrestling ring, but certainly not a whole hell of a lot about being in it. This is the Pro Wrestling Report Radio.
Lights, camera, action.
This wasn't, no. I love this song, by the way. Didn't they sing it? There was a video and everything, wasn't it?
Well, wasn't it when Jimmy Hart was managing?
Yeah, there was a video. David, come on, you remember. You can admit it.
I'm just...
Your show, brother.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling. This is what I thought we were going to come back.
But just imagine your name being Jacques. Now, here we go. Now, this was a great tag team song.
Didn't they have the South Park?
You just want to put your hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up.
This is the late great Luna Vachon. I think she was very entertaining at this point.
Yeah.
Old Golga, and you had Kurgan.
He was unique.
Right? You know what?
But
Kurgan was in
role.
the movie Sherlock Holmes.
Not gonna work here anymore.
No, Sherlock Holmes.
All right, thank you, Joey Salas, for choosing Oddities. What a great song.
It is a great song.
Jam. All right, and thank you to everyone for participating in our special theme night here on the tag teams. But we've got another theme, Dylan. Next week, we got another theme.
Oh, we're doing this again?
Every week.
A new theme every week?
Until we run out.
Yeah.
It's never going to end.
Frank's got a long list. He's got 52 already. We're set for the next year.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Frank.
Yeah, hi. Got to be prepared.
All right, guys. Next week, you, the fans, will choose theme songs from female superstars.
Ooh, la la.
That should make you happy.
Oh, absolutely. It's a big difference.
Can I ask a favor for next week? When you submit those on our Facebook page? There better be some glow representation. And if you're even that much better, some pow representation.
As long as there's Gail and Alicia.
You have no say.
And Eve.
You have no say.
And Tracy. We'll be fine.
Big Bad Mama, Lady Godiva.
Hollywood and Vine.
Okay. You guys are...
Sally the Farmer's Daughter.
We're real
I like
wrestling
her.
fans, David Hero.
Yeah, Glow with the 5-inch round... Jesus. The hell is this? Oh, my gosh. See, this is what I don't want to have happen next week, is crap like this.
Mae Young, they want to see my puppies. Let's show them the puppies. Remember that Royal Rumble 2000?
Oh, yeah.
And then they showed the puppies.
You know what?
Those are the dog days of winter.
I guess that's a great lead-in, because guess what's coming out next week? The lovely Linda Kay calendar.
Oh, no, let's rephrase that, because let's make it sound like it's just me.
Well, but
Well, you're
come
Miss
on.
October.
Miss October.
The Coyote Ugly calendar. I believe you guys are going to pick up your advance
Absolutely.
copy tonight. Linda Kay, Miss October in the Coyote Ugly calendar.
My birthday month. That's what I wanted.
How
You
about
are
that?
officially a calendar girl. How about that?
You're going to be hanging in millions of guys' rooms.
And
Millions more.
Oh, millions more. How
I'm
about
stoked.
that?
Can't wait to see it.
I can't either. Thank God I got a 3D phone.
You gotta look at it this way, that way, this way. Just keep looking at it. Vintage video, ladies and gentlemen. Bringing the segment back here, Kaz. Vintage video. We look back at a time and a place long gone by. And today, with it being SummerSlam coming up in just 2 weeks, I can't think of a better vintage SummerSlam moment than Brock Lesnar versus The Rock at SummerSlam 2002. Interesting for so many reasons. Brock wins the championship from The Rock, who had come back to bridge WWE between WrestleMania and SummerSlam. Rock booed out of the building. This really was the final step in the making of Brock Lesnar.
Brock, he beat
Brock
the
beat
face
The
of the
Rock.
company. Yeah, The Rock, the great one. The people's champ.
Passing the torch.
It's when the Hollywood backlash against The Rock started. And he wouldn't return for 7 years.
But also, let's keep in mind that Brock Lesnar was a freaking beast. And whenever there is...
An unbelievable beast.
I mean, just like the Road Warriors, just like the Ultimate Warrior, just like whenever there's that one guy that just steamrolls everybody, the fans always eventually get behind him. And that's what with Brock Lesnar. Superstar.
That's this week's vintage video, and it's just one of those SummerSlams. I don't know if you really thought, and it was a great build, too, because you sort of thought Brock could win, but you didn't expect him to.
Right.
But everyone knew Rock was leaving, too.
Not everyone.
Most fans knew that Rock was
If
leaving
you
the
listen
film.
to this show, you knew he was leaving.
I can't remember what movie it was at the time, but the atmosphere at the time, there have been so many great SummerSlam moments, including HBK's return match against Triple H.
That
SummerSlam
street fight.
2005,
That was a great
I think
match.
it was, or 2002
That's
or
made like
3.
the brown tights,
Yeah,
right?
jeans.
Jeans.
Yeah.
That's it.
That match was a mess. It was a great mess, though. When I say mess, they were using everything.
Right.
And there was blood everywhere. It was just a great matchup. Randy Orton became WWE champion for the first time at SummerSlam,
The
and then was
youngest
subsequently
to become
dumped.
champion at the time.
Yep.
Beating Chris. Oh, we can't mention. Can we mention his name?
We can.
Chris Benoit.
Remember him?
Of course.
That's this week's vintage video, but, the interaction continues because we know many of you watch this program in its archive form on YouTube. You actually listen and sort of watch at the same time. I want to thank the thousands of you that do that each and every week. We want to start a challenge.
That's right. You're going to do it on Facebook, though. You're going to head over to our Facebook page. We're going to have a trivia question each week, correct?
Yeah. We are, trivia. It's all you, Frank.
I thought that's where you were going.
And we are doing that. I teased the YouTube challenge, and now we're going to trivia.
Right. First person.
He didn't see his
It's on the
notes.
run sheet.
I know.
First person.
Even I
to
can
answer-
do that part. Oh, but it's paper. Frank doesn't do well on paper,
No,
remember?
I don't. It is in front of me,
Oh,
though.
wait. God, you spilled your Diet Coke. Go ahead, Frank.
We're good. First person to answer the trivia question on Facebook gets an on-air mention on next week's PWR Radio
On this
show.
program, Monday night?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Here we go.
Giving.
Which city has hosted 3 SummerSlam events? which city has hosted 3 Summer Slam events? Head over to our Facebook page right now. First person to answer correctly in an on-air mention on next week's PWR show, which will be Monday night, 10 p.m. Central.
3 times. Was it Milwaukee?
It was Cudahy.
Right. Yeah, that happened. Is that ice rink still open down there?
It's a skating rink, not ice.
As I said, many of you watch this program right here on not right here, but well, it depends on when you're listening to it, but in the archive forms on YouTube. And we want to throw a challenge out there. Each week we want to drive your comments to a certain subject. And this week we want to hear why you will or why you won't be ordering TNA Hardcore Justice this Sunday night on pay-per-view. Now, that, of course, will be enhanced by your Be the Booker experience on primetime tomorrow night. But we want to know on YouTube why you will or will not be ordering TNA Hardcore Justice. And you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/MaxSports, youtube.com/MaxSports. I want to thank the over 6 million of you who've watched the Pro Wrestling Report videos in the last several years.
6 million?
Millions and millions.
Wow.
And I mean millions.
That's impressive. But you already knew that.
And Frank, I think with the trivia, where are we taking those answers? Because Linda said Twitter's blowing up right now.
Facebook.com.
Correct.
/Pro Wrestling Report.
Wow,
what a cooperative
you guys are
effort.
insane
They're
tonight.
all about the tag team theme tonight.
Absolutely.
Boom.
There it is.
There it is.
Oh.
October's going to be fun. Are you coming to Bound for Glory?
Why not?
I don't know if you got your travel package yet.
Why not?
Philadelphia.
The whole month is going to be a party.
It's the city
for
of
me.
brotherly love.
It's
Absolutely.
my birthday month. It's also Halloween, my favorite holiday.
And you're in the calendar.
All right, now it's time for our fan of the week.
This is my favorite part.
This would be like a sound.
What, the calendar?
Well,
Oh, fan of the week.
Fan of the week. All right. In order for you to become our fan of the week, just send an email, a question, or comment to us at comments@pwrshow.com. Again, comments@pwrshow.com. This week's fan of the week is Christopher McCullough.
from SVU? Go ahead.
All right, Christopher's asked, do you guys feel that WWE and TNA could be heading in positive directions?
We'll answer that question when we come back from our final timeout. The question from our fan of the week is, what was that, Linda? One more time.
Do you guys feel that WWE and TNA could be heading in positive directions?
This ought to be fun. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Missed an episode on the Pro Wrestling Report? Thanks, pal. Subscribe to the show on iTunes and take the show with you wherever you go, even in the bathroom.
Everybody start gasping. I'm ready for the lights, camera, action.
540 ESPN.
It's time for the Superhero Song of the Week on the Pro Wrestling Report here on ESPN Radio.
Lights, camera, action. Nah, come on. Nah, come on.
Welcome back to the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, ESPNMilwaukee.com. Kill this. Damian Nelson.
Are
along
you
with
serious?
Because David
I
Hero
listen
and
to all
Linda
that
Kay.
other crap, and I finally get something I like. You know what? You're just upset. I understand.
I gave you the CD so you could listen to it on your way home last week. So maybe that you would shut up.
Did you see what she did in Barbados?
Yes, I saw that.
Wow.
Did she fall again?
No.
Stage blow up?
No.
She was
no.
Somebody
scantily
heard?
clad and
Wow.
dancing
Right?
with other ladies.
Abso-freaking-lutely tremendous.
Hey, watch your mouth.
That should be on the pwrshow.com site.
Not going to happen. Linda, what was the fan of the week question again?
The question was, do you guys feel that WWE and TNA could be heading in positive directions?
You know what? Tune in to Primetime tomorrow night to find out the 4-month outlook for both WWE and TNA. Frank, you get to answer it, though.
That's not on this sheet.
No, I think both
No.
could be heading in the right direction. I think they are.
You ain't going to run sheet with nothing on it.
We're going to
Gotta
talk
catch
tomorrow night on Primetime. You had that run sheet yesterday. The intern sent it. I know because I had them confirm with me. We'll talk about the 4-month outlook for WWE and TNA. By the end of
Money in
November,
the Bank,
what will have happened?
We got to figure out by end of November what's going to happen.
Yeah. Based on what we know
don't
today.
even know what's on next week's pay-per-view.
But we do know what's on Hardcore Justice this Sunday night. And we'll be
Ken
going to be
Anderson.
the booker
You know what?
for that.
I got to give Ken a call because he's costing me points right now.
Speaking of pay-per-views, Ring of Honor has announced a return to iPay-per-view and that's internet pay-per-view, on September 17th. Death Before Dishonor, coming to you from New York's Manhattan Center. So again, Ring of Honor, who is going to be in Chicago Ridge, August 13th.
They're doing it right. They're going to do their big TV taping in Chicago, and then a pay-per-view in New York.
Not some suburban outskirt.
Why can't TNA steal that formula?
Because they'd be stealing it.
Because, they're going to be in Hammond, Indiana next month.
September 24th.
There's a big casino.
And we're going to be in Hammond, Indiana.
Unless we're otherwise detained on September 24th.
9/24.
11.
How about that?
Want to ask all of you to help us out, participate in our online survey available right now at pwrshow.com. Just click on the link right on the top left, and everybody who completes that survey gets a personal phone call from the Cause.
Wow. Well, or just call the Cause direct at 414-915-9292. Oh, is this on?
Are standing by.
I thought you muted my mic. That'll be fine.
All right, guys.
I'll have Sylvan answer it.
It is time for our Tweet of the Week. You can follow us on Twitter.
Tweet of the Week?
Tweet of the Week. You can follow us on Twitter
Just tweet it up.
Twitter.com/PWR Show and use the hashtag PWR Now during our live wrestling broadcast. Again, that's the hashtag PWR Now.
Frank has his fans outside again. How do you get so many?
That's the Easy E convention.
Absolutely.
I thought he was having a convention.
He's dead.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know.
Really?
I wasn't aware.
That's fabulous. Yeah. Frank, put the glow stick away. It'll be fine.
Okay, Tweet of the Week. All right. This comes from at Franco Lilies. He says, people say WWE is predictable. The WWE doesn't do what people expect, and then they're disappointed. Really?
There are two sayings I'll equate to that. Be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it.
You always get it.
Not always. They didn't get it.
Fans aren't getting Zack Ryder.
Oh, they're getting him all right. On his back. That's the problem. The fans. Damian Nelson. Always.
Oh, you're the one turning that upside down.
Honestly, I'm being straight shooter right now. He's just not getting it.
When he's on TV?
He should. Okay. Yeah. Watch what happens to Zack Ryder on SmackDown this week. It's not going to end well.
How do you become the Tweet of the Week? You just pick them randomly, huh?
Yeah. I figure,
you are truly you're a social media calendar posing. What is that? How does that go? Linda Kay? I think it's fitting that we hear a little bit more about Linda Kay with her Titantron, at least the audio version.
I like it.
She's the calendar posing, bar crawling, constant going social media diva. Linda Kay. She's real. Damn real.
Tremendous.
Welcome back to
Is that Usher in the background?
That was Jason Derulo.
Did you say that right?
Yes, that's how he always says it. Jason Derulo.
All right, let's get back on track here. There's Tweet of the Week. Thank you very much for that. I want to remind everybody we're going to have the post show this Sunday after TNA's Hardcore Justice, so you can catch up on all that you might have missed there.
Frank, you want to do a post show on Sunday?
Do I get
you know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen? I have one guy. I have one team. I can only get 15 points. This guy is going to rub it in all night.
It's going to be a rout.
Well, it should be. You got like 13 guys going.
Okay, thank you for the compliment, because clearly I picked the more overall, well-rounded roster.
You just said something that reminded me before the night ends.
Happy John Morrison's back, by the way.
The number 13.
Lucky Taz is 13?
No. My daughter Madison in 5 minutes turns 13.
Happy birthday to you.
So happy birthday to the Mad Dog.
Absolutely.
That's tremendous. 13 years old. That's
So-
fantastic.
Yeah.
Is she going to get the new car she wanted tomorrow?
A new car!
We'll work on that one.
Oh, you're in a teenager?
13, Dave.
Oh.
We're in the north. Can't drive at that age.
She,
You can drive a farm vehicle.
Frank's connected. He can do whatever he wants.
That's true. That's true, maybe. But
Wow.
happy birthday, Maddie.
Absolutely. Happy birthday.
Awesome. Let's go to our final caller of the night, and that's Mike out in... Actually, Mike he didn't want to wait for David Hero to talk about anything anymore, so he sent his question in via the screen in front of me. And I quote...
Why is it my fault?
That hurt me. Who do you pair Punk up with after Cena and Triple H? Well, David Hero, your speculation on that is very clearly it's going to be Punk and...
Chris Jericho.
I'm sorry?
Oh, after he gets through...
That's a Twitter war.
No, it's not.
Who do you pair Punk up with after Cena and Triple... Oh, after... And Triple H.
Yes,
My apologies.
see?
I misread this.
Yeah, why don't you listen to the words coming out of your own mouth?
I'm not capable of doing that.
I think, you know what? Let those two guys go back and forth. I think the fans would love a CM Punk Christian battle. Who would the fans side with?
CM Punk
Wait, who?
Chris Jericho. They're a Canadian. Same thing.
We have Christian on your mind so much this week.
Because I believe in God.
I want to thank our guest, Shane Helms, for joining us here tonight on the Pro Wrestling Report, and we'll have that interview available at our website, pwrshow.com. I believe we'll probably have it portion of it here on the station site as well. We'll try to see about that.
Holy crap. Frank just downloaded the Shane Helms Twitter app for his iPhone.
That's one nice looking picture.
The picture he took is tremendous.
Caliente. Wow. Well, as I said, we are back Monday night right here on 540 ESPN, and our schedule is fluctuating just a little bit all month long, rather, the month of August here on 540 ESPN. So I want to let you know that after next Monday, we'll be back on August 18th, which is a Thursday, followed by August 24th, which is a Wednesday, and then back on Monday nights, August the 29th. August the 29th, right here on 540 ESPN. And I think there's going to be a lot more to talk about. I am intrigued by what's going to happen with SummerSlam. Not so intrigued by Hardcore Justice. But Eric Bischoff continues to say that TNA is walking down that path towards Bound for Glory that they've been walking on for the past year. And I think that path leads to Sting and Hulk Hogan. We'll talk about it on primetime, but I just can't get interested in that. David Hero, tomorrow night.
GLCW Heat at the Ozaki County Fair. The New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, Al Snow, Scotty Tuhati, and the lovely and talented Original Knockout Tracy Brooks. Bell time is 7:30. Tickets start at $10. Go to blizzardbrawl.com or ozakicountyfair.com for more information.
I want to thank everybody who joined us in the chat room tonight, courtesy of Blog Talk Radio. Always great discussion going on there, sometimes very difficult to keep up with. And because you guys are so fast, we thank you so much for joining us there. Also want to thank everybody who tweeted during the show, including Mikey Cruz Jr., who just said, thank God you mentioned the pay-per-view. I totally forgot they had a pay-per-view this weekend. And therein lies the problem. Saturday, though, David Hero, going to be some couple people in Chicago for a bit of a convention.
Yeah, the TriStar Sports Convention's going on. Kurt Angle, Mr. Anderson,
Tara, Ric Flair.
And also Pro Wrestling Blitz and Joliet will have Road Dogg and Billy and Tracy Brooks as well. Lots of wrestling all over the place lately.
It must be summertime. It must be SummerSlam. But more importantly, and before that, PWR Prime Time tomorrow night after Impact. And we'll be right back here Monday night on 540 ESPN. Thank you to Shane Helms for joining us for the Linda. David Hero and the Cause. This is Damian Nelson saying so long, everybody. We'll see you next week right here on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Which way you can get low, drop to the floor and move it slow. Any, money, which way you can get